Fish here. Today we're doing a tank review of the AT2, which is a Tier 5 British tank destroyer. This tank destroyer is renowned for its armour, with 203mm at the front, 101mm at the side and the rear. I'll go into the armour in a bit more depth later, but I'll give you a brief overview of how that affects the play. The strong front armour means that you'll be able to do good sniping without being penetrated. This is because the further away you are from an opponent, the less penetration their gun will do, unless they're using HE of course. The 101mm from the sides and rear means that if you get flanked, which you probably will in this tank due to slow mobility, you'll probably bounce a few shots and you'll probably extend the period of play that you'll have. That's due to the large amounts of armour at the front and rear. In fact, the armour at the rear is probably more armour than you'll get in most of the tanks' front armour at Tier 5. However, this armour does have a downside, and this means that it reduces the mobility of the tank by quite a lot. The top speed of this tank is 20 km an hour, and the traverse speed is 20 degrees a second. The traverse speed can be improved by giving your driver clutch braking, as I have done here. He's on 91% so far. And yeah, top speed, that can be changed by using gasoline, like I have here, 100 octane gasoline, or 105, which is the premium. This will increase traverse speed too, and it also increases the engine's power. The engine's power is really low compared to the weight, meaning that it has a very low power to weight ratio. This is one cause to the tank's low speed and low traverse speed. The hit point is 450, which is 100 more than the Su-85, which should load up soon, which is the Russian Tier 5 tank destroyer. This is also quite a good tank, and I will do a review later on. Wait for that to load. But yeah, this AT2 is the second, well, technically it's the first, but there are two Tier 5 British tank destroyers. This is the Su-85 with 250 hit points. There are two British tank destroyers you can do at Tier 5. There's the AT2, which is kind of focused on armour and a high rate to fire gun. I'll get to the gun in a bit. And the Archer, which is a much more faster and much more camo efficient tank. The guns also does more damage, but it has a less faster fire rate. So yeah, let's go on to the guns. So with the AT2, you get a choice of 3 different guns. You get the 6-pounder Mark V, which has 57mm of gun, I guess. It's got a fire rate of 26.09 rounds a minute, with an average penetration with AP of 110mm and 180 with APCR. However, you get a reload 30mm penetration with HE. The damage is 75 for both AP and APCR, and 100 for the HE. It's got really accurate gun, dispersion of 0.37 with a quick aim time of 1.7 seconds, and then that's the Mark V 6-pounder gun that's currently equipped on my AT2. The other Tier 5 gun you get in this is the 3.7-inch howitzer. This is 94mm and it shoots HE and high explosive anti-tank. This is probably the least effective gun. This is because with the stock HE you have 47mm of penetration with 370 damage. You will do splash damage, and you'll do about 100 HP, maybe even 120 if you don't penetrate. That's good, but the rate of fire, 8 rounds a minute, lets it down compared to the 26.09 of the 6-pounder. The 6-pounder can do more damage a minute than the howitzer, unless you penetrate every shot with the howitzer, which is very unlikely. The dispersion of this is quite inaccurate, 0.49, and it's got a slower aim time, so overall I think that the 6-pounder Mark V is a better gun. And then you get the 6-pounder Mark III, which is the stock gun for the AT2, and it's basically the same as the Mark V, except it's less accurate and it's got less penetration. That's all it is. So yeah, those are the guns for the AT2. The loadout I'd have is octane, a small repair kit, small first aid kit, binos for when you want to do sniping, a medium caliber tank gun rammer. That's a mouthful. I'd recommend that to decrease the reload time, so you can get more shots out, and a camouflage net. because this will help you when you're sniping. The signal range is pretty good, and the view range is also quite good for a tank destroyer. If you don't have any binos on it, it's 310, and if you do, it's 382, which is pretty good. The gun traverse speed is 26 degrees per second, except the gun arc, which is how much the gun can traverse horizontally, isn't very much at all. So that traverse speed doesn't really make much difference. So yeah, I'm now going to skip on to a tank inspector view, I guess, of this tank, and I'll go through the armour and all the weak spots of the tank. Thanks, I'll see you in a bit. Hey guys, I'm back in a tank inspector to go over the armour of the AT2 and all its weak spots, so that you can use your armour more effectively, and so you can effectively take out some AT2s. So to start with, we can see from the front that there's probably going to be a major armour weak spot, and that's this cupola here. If we go into the in-depth view, we can see that 108mm on this cupola. It's not like it's little for a tier 5 tank, but it's still the weak point of this tank, apart from these two little frog eyes here, which are both throwing around 80mm. Get it onto there, where is it? There. Pretty sure it's not 700mm. Can't get it up at the moment, sorry about that, but it's about 80mm. So yeah, if you're shooting this tank from the front, I would recommend shooting here at the cupola, but try get a central shot, because the further out you go, the thicker the armour will get, because it's cylindrical and physics, yes, and you will get an auto ricochet if it's slightly angled, you see there. Another weak spot is just above the gun. So if you shoot just above the gun, there is a gun manlet there, but it's only 102mm, and if your gun can penetrate further than that, I can guarantee that you will, because there's this armour blank spot here, just beneath the gun mantlet, and that is where is it? That's 0mm. If I can get it on there, it's not there, but yeah, around there, behind the gun mantlet, it's 0mm. So if you shoot just above it, so around here, you should be okay, and you should be able to penetrate and damage the tank. In terms of using your armour efficiently, your strongest points are here, here, and around here. These are all armoured areas, and they're also angled. This bit here, shooting from above, it's 83mm. However, if you're shooting on head-on, so in a brawling situation, it would be around 142. Now if we angle our tank, we can see that this increases by about 10 degrees, not 10 degrees, 10mm of armour thickness here, and this also increases by about 10 degrees of armour thickness. Same for here. Now this little head bit, it's angled and it has about 180, 190 degrees on this section. I'll just show you what it takes like on the tank. It's this area around here, and then on the cheeky bits here, you can expect to get around about 230, and maybe even an auto ricochet area around here. From the side of the tank, you've got this large area of armour that is around 110 to 103mm thick. This is an area to shoot if you're against AT2 and you're flanking it, because this is a guaranteed penetration pretty much if you have a high caliber gun. Also the cupola is also a weak spot here of 103mm, but just remember, the further sideways you go on the cupola, the more likely you are to ricochet because of the cylindricalness of it, and again, physics. You have this large sheet of spaced armour here on both sides of the tank. This is the equivalent of 143mm here. So if you use HE on this area, you only do damage to the tracks and modular damage, you won't do any damage to the actual tank. Also, if you shoot AP or APCR, you're a lot less likely to damage the tank, and you probably just end up damaging the tracks. Just remember that the tracks aren't equivalent to any kind of armour, just if you do hit the tank in the tracks, only the tracks will be damaged. Now at the back, I recommend not shooting at the big head bit here, because it's 102mm and there are a lot better targets to be shooting at the back, such as this big flat area here and this flat area here. Show you what they look like here. So remember to shoot this this sort of like horizontal triangle bit here, and this bit here. If you're having if you're on the upper hand and you're higher up on the high ground, I recommend shooting in this big flat area here, and guarantee you'll penetrate no matter what tank or what caliber you have. And just remember to shoot on the top flat bits whenever you're shooting at an AT2 from the top. So yeah, I'm now going to go into a replay now. This replay shows off the AT2 and its armour, as well as its gun, and how the gun can do a lot of damage in a short amount of time. See you in a bit. Hey guys, I'm back. This is a battle I had in the AT2, which was on the map Sacred Valley, which is the Asian map. Yes.
Time to roll out.
Basically, in this game, there was a lot of us going to one side, and a lot of the enemy went to one side too. Most of the enemy went down to the BC area, whereas most of our team went down to the H and J. To be honest, it's more of a 50-50 split of team, except a lot of the tank destroyers went up to the HJ area. So I decided to go down the low route here, to around about, I think it was D5 I went to, just over these houses around here. I chose to go this way because no one else went there, and I thought it would be a good exploration to, yeah, it's never a good idea to go out into an Asian area by yourself, because you may be killed by some Chinese mafia. Great. So yeah, I decided to head off down here, following the little road, because why not? And a few tanks pop up here. Got a T25 and an M7. The M7 kind of evaporates, his health just evaporates off him, and the T25 stays there. I don't see any tanks going along here, so I'm kind of thinking, okay, this is okay. And then suddenly a T28 appears. I ripped 2 shots from Panzer 4H and then Matilda BP. Really helpful with the armor there. If I was in any other tank, I probably would have been a lucky penetration with Matilda BP. Let's call it here to see where he's penetrating. He is penetrating my Polar, can you see? Right there. That's a weak spot of the tank, and this Matilda BP is obviously a well played player, and he can see that that's the weak point of this tank, so he's shooting there. Good play by him. Continue the game. So he's trying to get some shots, not working, not penetrating my tank. Panzer 4H kind of spazzes out and just tries to take a shot. Won't penetrate me, mate. So I'm kind of wondering what to do here. I'm deciding whether I need to shoot that Panzer 4H, but I see the Matilda BP is on the side. I get some shots off me, he ricochets a shot off me. It's just a bunch of ricochets. I go around to the side thinking of getting a shot on the Panzer 4H, he takes a shot on me, there's just so much action. I take more shots at the BP, ricochet one thing. And I look round, and there's the Panzer 4H is there, until the BP goes out, so that's that threat gone. I can go around here without my side team. He's shooting HE at me now, which for some reason doesn't do much damage to him. He's effectively shooting at my tracks. Breaks my track, and I can't fucking reverse that, so I fix it quickly. Fix it, and then the stuff comes along and steals my kill. The rate of this gun is insane. With 1,000 damage there, in probably around about 2 minutes. Pretty good for a tier 5 tank. So this is when you can see how slow the tank is. You've got a stub there, and it races off, leaves me behind. I'm going 20 kilometers an hour here. It's just not good. Squeeze through that gap like an elephant, or an AT2, because that's what this is. My allergies. But yeah, so I keep driving on here. Spot that DW2. Tried to go over the hill. Nice little HE monster. They can get a shot into him, which is kind of like a snapshot on like barely any of his tank.
Penetration.
Accuracy is really good.
Enemy armor is destroyed.
And then we spot this bishop. Slowness of the tank unfortunately means I can't get a shot into him. And right here, the only tank left is that shitty artillery Tier 2 German artillery. See the tank? You can do a bit of
Permission to
auto,
engage.
shot,
Enemy is
shoot
hit.
through the fence.
Let's find another target.
Shot. He dies. And that was a great game from the AT2. Really good game. 1,242 damage overall. Brilliant game. Shows off some good characteristics of the tank, the damage per minute and the armour. Also shows an example of someone who knows how to play, shooting at the cupola, being able to do some heavy-ish damage to my tank, taking off around about 120 health. So yeah, it's a good game. I'll show you the battle report in just a sec. Hello, I'm back. So yeah, this is the battle report screen. As you can see, got some decent shots into a Panzer 4H, Matilda BP, DW2, T28, and that. It was my first game of the day, so I got my 10 gold reward, 1,294 research, and 18,876 coins. Second class mastery badge as well. So yeah, overall that was a good game. I'm pleased with it. It's not my best game, I've had better ones. Unluckily, I have some really good replays from back in, I think it was like 9.0. Fortunately they don't work. I'll try get them to work and I'll show them on a replay compilation if you want. Yeah, so yeah, thanks guys. Subscribe, like, and comment for what you want. I'll do a few more videos for what you guys want. And yeah, thanks. Bye.